All right, people, we are here for the BHDL Season 7 semifinals, and I'm not alone. I'm joined by the owner of the BHDL himself. Introduce yourself, my friend.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Scorpion, coach of the Leaf Agents, and of course, owner of Battle Up Draft League. Very excited to talk about the semifinals preview, of course. Unfortunately, I am not in it myself. I am out of the race. I was knocked out in quarterfinals by the GOAT Ray. But obviously, I'm very excited to still see how these four coaches are going to perform in the semifinals here. We're going to have a look at the matchups. We're going to have a look to see like what we think about them, who we think will win. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. So yeah, let's waste no further time. Let's get it, Emerald.
Yeah, absolutely. So our top four coaches from the quarterfinals have moved on here. We could just take a look back at the standings. It is interesting that our number one overall seed over here, Al, has been eliminated. Um, and the number 8 seed, Raymond, moved on. So some very interesting stuff that happened actually in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if we let me actually pull these up here because I'm pretty sure that if we take a look at the pick'ems here, there is actually only one matchup that the people predicted correctly because it was the Al versus Brandon game was madly in Al's favor. The Zachmander versus Kingbura game was in Kingbura's favor, and my game versus Ray also most people voting for me. So the only one that people got right was DRV versus Lazy, as my boy DRV has made it to semis.
Yes.
So yeah, I think most people would consider these matches upsets, really, which is
A
crazy.
lot of upsets, yeah. I mean, we were slightly better. It was like a coin toss basically from us, but we did predict the Raymond versus Scorpion match actually correctly. But that Al versus Brandon match, man, I mean, who could have predicted that?
For
The
sure.
Ogerpon just popping off. I mean, I knew that Ogerpon could pop off. It was more a question of if Al could stop it, and they did not.
Yeah.
So that's how
Yeah.
that game went. And Zachmander
Gotta get,
did a good job of prepping versus Kingbura.
so he really saw the webs coming, and he managed to work his way around them. And the Brandon versus Al game, again, I did think that Ogerpon Wellspring had a really good matchup. Apparently, Al disagreed. Apparently, he thought the matchup was fine but not unmanageable. But yeah, Brandon really, made the most out of that with the focus energy and the rain and that demonic turn of that overquill. My God, Brand's got balls of steel, dude.
Balls of steel, man. I'm saying, like he made a Hail Mary and he caught it.
Yeah, literally. Hey, it paid off. So that's
It
you're
paid
in
off,
semis now.
man.
Congrats.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so with that, then let's take a look now at our kill leaderboard because we have also some big numbers that happened. Our boy Hydrapple here, what did he get? 5 or 6 kills, something like that.
Five.
Five
Five.
kills to get him up to 24, tied with Lunala, and only
Absolutely
just
crazy.
behind the Necrozma, right, for the overall kills in history.
Yep. So Necrozma in Season 3, piloted by the best, not really, is BHDL's current record holder. So one more kill to tie, 2 more kills to surpass, which he can absolutely do, considering he's still got 2 games left here.
If
So
he
yeah,
wins this one,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely crazy, dude. Especially considering, the. I still remember the moment where DRV talked to me about drafting this thing. He was so unsure. It's like, yeah, I'm sure it's strong, but it's so expensive.
He
And it's
must have
like, dude,
not
it's
seen my matches in the in the BHL speed draft because that
yeah,
thing
dude, that
popped
thing,
off in just 3 battles.
dude, that thing freaking carried you, man. I swear to.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, it did.
Yeah, but otherwise, all the crazy standings. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the DRV versus Lazyboi game.
Yeah, we had some power outages and stuff like that.
Yeah,
OBS is crashing. But at
the
least they
latest.
played the game. I'm just happy
Like
they played
respect
it.
to both of them, honestly, for still finishing it out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then, I mean, not gonna lie though, because the Brandon game happened first, and so this Ogerpon like shot up and was like one behind the Hydrapple, so it was like, oh snap, we might have a race here. But then the Hydrapple still had to play is like, nah, fam, get off my back. What are you doing? Let me get 5 kills and secure
We
my
get
spot.
5 more. Yep. No, this
5 more
fast mine,
kills on
brother.
Hydrapple.
Literally. No, he's in DRV's been piloting that thing like a champ, honestly. Even like a mon so good can only get you that far, and he's been making absolutely great use of it. Obviously, his team is incredibly well built to support it. Like the dual regen core, man, of Torrent plus Terra Hydrapple is demonic.
Yeah, and that's not the only mon that he has up here either. We looked down here. What was that at number 12 there, Scorpion?
Oh yeah, we got the the BHDL meme. I will never not be proud of seeing Iron Thorns up this high, and it's so funny because it like How many games did it come to? It come to 4
4.
games. Look at
Iron
that.
Thorns has a better percentage than Urshifu Single.
Yeah,
And my Iron
don't
Moth
remind
is
me.
nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, see, it's so sad because like I'm proud of Urshifu for getting 10 kills. Don't take me wrong, but it's like it's supposed to be a break. I was really hoping to get my Iron Crown up here, and it's also nowhere to be seen, brother. Like I fought that thing so badly this season. I hate it because I had such high expectations for Terra Iron Crown, and I'm sure other people did too. Like I remember B-Nard saying at the power ranks, like, "Oh brother, this guy got Terra Iron Crown. That's gonna get him far." Nope.
Yeah, he had a pretty tough schedule with it this time, I think.
Yeah, still.
tough.
I mean, that's true though, but I still feel like it's kind of a shame to me because like Iron Crown as a Pokemon just fits me. Like I feel like Iron Crown is such a score Pokemon. It's like I'm just disappointed that I didn't get it that far. But hey, at least Urshifu's there.
Yeah, sure enough. So yeah, unless something extraordinary happens and DRV loses and gets no kills with this thing, and Brandon just sweeps with Ogerpon twice, Hydrapple is going to be the logo for BHDL Season 8.
No, they're gonna look fire though. I don't know about you, but I love Hydrapple.
I do. Hydrapple's so good, man. I love that thing. All right, and with that, and it almost does you think that it has a crown on its head, so it does kind of fit that our first season in Champions we'd have a Hydrapple on the logo, because it's like Kyurem, the champion of.
I was just
Indigo
gonna
Disc.
say that Kyurem, yeah, like it literally is championship material. It's the ace of the Indigo Disc champ boy, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Love it.
All right, with that, then we will go and move on into our matches here. First up, we have Raymond versus Brandon. Scorp, why don't you kick us off here?
Yeah, my pleasure. So we got my boy Raymond, of course, taking on Brandon, two BHDL veterans, been here with us since Season 1. And it is worth mentioning before we go into this that this is a rematch that has already happened during the regular season, of which Raymond was victorious. And the other one, DRV versus Zachmander, has not happened yet, so that is a fresh match. So there's some, definite different dynamics at play there. So let's get into this one though. So the first thing that's honorable or that's worth mentioning here is that Terra Ghost Tauros on Ray's side went stupid the first time, right? Obviously Brandon, one of the few weaknesses of his team is that he has no dark types. He does have a normal type, but it's a very frail one. So Ghost in general is
very weak Weavile.
Yeah, for sure. So indeed. So Ghost spam very strong against Brandon. Now obviously Raymond does not have a natural Ghost type, but he does have that Tauros, which he made great use of. So I honestly think that Monk could go stupid again depending on what Ray cooks up, but he's obviously going to have to think of a different set this time. Now obviously Ray does have a big speed advantage in this game as well. We have both the Weavile and the Noivern, which outspeed both of Brandon's fastest Mons. Similar thing at play with me actually as well. I think that's honestly just a big strength of Ray's team in general. He's got such a his speed years are like so high on average. It's kind of crazy, and I think that's going to come into play here as well.
Yeah.
When looking at this matchup specifically as well, I think honestly Raymond's Terapagos, despite not being like amazing offensively here, I mean it's good, but I think definitely in a matchup like this and against a team like Brandon's, I really feel like Terapagos as a Pokemon is. It provides a lot of value, right? It can put a lot of pressure on things. It has Toxic, it has Rocks, so there's a lot of ways that it can kind of like... and Terra Shell as well, I think, is a very key piece here to slow down potentially the Mew or to prevent an Ogerpon sweep, right? So even though it's not going to sweep or anything, I mean, maybe it will, I don't know. But I think Terapagos has big value in this game. On the other side, though, I think Ogerpon Wellspring once again has a demotic matchup here. And we look back to the first time how Ray had to get the classic Sap Sipper Azumarill off the bench just to prevent that thing from getting a Trailblaze, because he knew that if that thing got a Trailblaze, it was probably Jover. So that's obviously a really tough one, and like it really is like Ivy Cudgel is like dummy free against Ray's team. Unfortunately, like the Superior does not appreciate it, and neither does Noivern. Now obviously they do luckily outspeed Ogerpon. Ogerpon can't be scarfed, that's one thing, but like give that thing some turns and it's gonna like sweep here, honestly, which sucks. Another thing here is that we got some defensive walls which can very easily invalidate Ray's pieces as well, right? We have the Aloe and the Neutralizing Gas Wheezing. If you want to get past Neutralizing Gas Wheezing with Azumarill, you're going to be forced to run Ability Shield. But even then, that thing outruns you most of the time. Well, not all of the time, but most of the time. And hits you with super effective Sludge Bomb. Aloe as well, super tough for Azu to break through. And not just that, but we also have a Sap Sipper Goodra that absorbs the Leaf Storm from Superior, so it can't even boost to get past it. And like, if you run an Assault Vest Goodra, that Terra Blast ground is going to be doing 20%, brother. So that's definitely tough. And then the final thing I will say about this matchup, which I think is a very, very key component here, Terra Mew as a Terra captain, no, not just that, but Terra Mew is demonic in rematches, I find, in draft. I honestly think Terra Mew is like one of the absolute best Terra captains you can have in a rematch setting, because it's like, there is no way that you put your cards on the table with that thing the first time around, and there's always going to be at least one or two, like, there's always going to be at least 2 sets per match, if not more, that you should be able to viably run with Mew, because it can literally run everything. So that is going to be super, super tough for Ray to deal with a second time, I feel. I can't quite remember what Brandon ran on it the first time, but if he gets creative enough, he can definitely, you know, make a completely different set that Ray is not expecting. So if I'm being brutally honest, I actually, like, not to, you know, jump that gun a little bit early, but I genuinely already think that Brandon has the matchup advantage here, especially because, again, we've talked about it many times here, the nuance of winning the first time, in my opinion, makes the second time all that much harder. And I think if you lose the first time, that actually makes the rematch easier. So because of the fact that Ray also, you know, put a lot of his cards on the table the first time, I low-key think that it's very, very tough for Ray here. But what have you got, friend?
Yeah, when I look at Brandon's team, I mean, I felt it when I played it, man. It's just like sheer overwhelming power. Like, you talk about the offensive potency of the Cinderace and the Ogerpon are very hard to wall without, like, a good bulky dragon, right? I mean, they've got a Sap Sipper Oz, that helps a lot versus the Ogerpon, but they've already showed that now, so now they're going to be thinking about that. Their dragon type is a Noivern, so they're not going to be able to tank the hits that many times. They've got, not just that, Brandon has this defensive absolute core of this Weezing plus the Alomola plus the Goodra Hisui. So although Brandon's team might be kind of predictable, I mean, I usually imagine he's brought the top 6 almost every time. Maybe he swaps in the Hitmontop or the Porygon or the Raikou, or maybe Masquerain sometimes. But literally, he's not bringing Masquerain because there's a Superior there that can get Contrary.
Oh, no, I don't think we're going to see that.
And a Terapagos that can easily spin it away either way. And a lot of his other mons just don't care. Or he just runs Boots on Weavile. He doesn't care. But just the top 6, just so powerful from Brandon, right? But Raymond's side, I know he's described his team as kind of being like an RU team almost. But even so, it's like this collection of mons, although they aren't as quite as strong as like some like legendaries, let's say, like Zachmander's team, they fit so well together, like a perfect puzzle piece. And he can really, oftentimes, like you said, he's able to prep very well and have a lot of cool sets that was able to help him overcome Brandon. Now, like you said, he already showed a lot of his cards. So now he's going to have to figure out how to kind of do, now I don't want to say the impossible, but he has to kind of like surprise Brandon a second time, you know? And that can be
Ray's
tough.
team is versatile, though. It's very versatile.
It's very versatile. That's what I'm saying. It does very well at that.
I felt
he
that.
has a lot of different stuff. So there's definitely more stuff that he can do. It's just a matter of being able to catch Brandon off guard again and make sure at the same time as you're doing that, have stuff that will be able to stopgap things like the Ogerpon and even the Mew from just setting up and running away with it, while at the same time being able to break Brandon's walls. Now, I will say, I do think that the combination of the offensive potency of Superior, Tauros, I mean, even the Weavile, if it sets up an SD or something like that, can start popping off. The Alomola is kind of like a sitting duck versus a Superior. They're forced to switch out into some of their other guys. So, I mean, we saw versus your game, Scorp. I mean, you had him in the Cyclone for a bit, but if Raymond can figure out how to outplay and outposition Brandon, maybe be able to, I don't know, get up some hazard. I would love to see some hazards, but you do have to be careful about that with that stupid Cinderace with that freaking court change, man. I hate it.
Absolutely. Same.
But really, I mean, that's what I was. I don't think I was able to. I think I gave up on hazards altogether versus Brandon. But if you could just manage to chip them down, like I know what I did. I used the Future Sight Tech to help take out the Mew and like force the Alomola to stay in on the Seed Flare because they switched out so many times. If you can manage to force Brandon to lose some of those pieces, then it's kind of like the rest begins to fall, you know. If he could just take out one, just get rid of either the Mola or the Goudra, then Raymond can really start to chip away at the rest of his team. Because like you said, he's got the speed advantage. I mean, the Cinderace and the Ogerpon, the hardest part about them is that they're so fast. I'm not sure if Raikou coming or not, it might, but either way, he still outspeeds that too. So if he could just keep up...
Sorry, go on.
If he could just keep up the momentum, stay light on his feet, and just keep on pivoting around and keeping the initiative for Raymond, then he can win. Otherwise, Brandon might either just wall him or just steamroll him if he doesn't let him.
For sure. I think definitely one of the interesting nuances of Brandon's team is like the defensive core has been serving exceptionally well, right? The Aloe, Weezing, Galar, and Goudra Sui core, like that forces a lot of prep on people, and I feel like they really like chip people down and make it easy pickings for like the Ogerpon, Wellspring, and the Cinderace to come through later. But one thing that I will say about Brandon's team is that as sturdy as his walls are, they don't have Unaware at their disposal. So Brandon's team, for all its strength, is definitely vulnerable to setup, right? That's one thing. So as you could say, if this Weavile manages to catch the like Ogerpon, Wellspring, or anything on a switch, then get an SD up. And the only thing that really saves you at that point is a Mach Punch Hitmon top, which I feel like is difficult to bring because the thing about Raymond's team is I did just mention that there's a lot of pieces that invalidate Ray's Mons, but it's like that does kind of force you to bring them, you know? And it's like if you want to be unpredictable and be like, okay, I'm not going to bring Weezing this time because I think Ray prepped for it very well the first time. Well, now you potentially open yourself up to huge power Azu running away with it, you know? And it's like Aloe can take its hits, but only for so long. And if it's Belly Drum, then you're really screwed. So, I mean, I guess Belly Drum Azu is also not very great into Ogerpon, Wellspring, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like
I get it, yeah, for sure.
Or if you choose to bring the Hisui and Goudra because that thing did nothing last time. Oh, well, now you open yourself up to a Superior, and if Ray decides to be like, oh, I'm gonna try to make Superior work despite the Goudra potentially being there, and then he goes to Team Preview and he's like, oh, there's no Goudra, my Serp's free, brother. And like that.
I think there's gonna be a big part of this game that's like figuring out whether or not Ray decided to bring Sap Siparazu, figuring like even at Team Preview, just immediately like you said, whether or not you see a certain Mon, like up until then, like both of these guys are just gonna be sweating, just trying to figure out what is the other guy gonna do. Like a lot of this might honestly be decided in prep.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of the game still that is like dependent on them outplaying each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was going on about earlier is like if you do get that setup, like imagine the scenario, right, where Ray decides to run Belly Drum Azu, and there's no Weezing, so he can like muscle past the Aloe. Even if Ogerpon comes in and revenges you after or forces you out, that's still just Aloe gone, and you can abuse that with Weavile or Tauros. You know what I mean? And like that's just like I'm not saying that scenario specifically. Exactly. I'm not trying to say that will happen, but I feel like there's a lot of ways that Raymond could potentially like set something up. Like get one thing chipped so the other thing can pop off, you know what I mean? Because like the problem, not necessarily a problem, but like I do think it's going to be very difficult for Brandon's team not to collapse if the wrong piece goes down at the wrong time. That's always going to be the downside of a more balanced team like this, and I really noticed that kind of myself. Back when in Season 4, I had the Zapdos Ting-Lu core. I really kind of felt pressured some games into trying to keep them alive as much as possible, because if one of them goes down, then you open up certain things that your offense can't handle. So that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for Ray piloting this team, I mean, Brandon's team just looks really good into this. The only thing that's like making me kind of lean towards Ray is like his ability to play well and his ability to be versatile and prep well and just all that. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, Brandon's team looks really good here.
Absolutely. Do you want to give a verdict on who we think wins this?
I'm still personally leaning Ray. You seem to still be leaning Brandon, so we might be kind of split. Maybe that's why we always have 3 people to break a tie.
Yeah, literally. I mean, okay, listen. I have the world of confidence in Ray. He beat me as well. I think he can honestly win this. But like, honestly, part of me in these playoffs preview videos doesn't like voting for people specifically, and I just like looking at the matchup. And I'm sorry, I can't be in denial here.
Well, if we're just going based off matchup, then Brandon's team looks really good.
This is like I'm not even being funny. This might be like a 70-30 or like a 65-35.
Yeah,
But this is
true.
easily in Brandon's
It's tough.
favor. And in my opinion, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Terra Mew in rematches is demonic. Like, that's huge.
That is fair. Brandon definitely has a good spot here, and this is also not only just a rematch here. These guys have played like multiple times, and the most notably back in the season 2 finals. So this is gonna be a big game for that.
Would be a huge win for Brandon because I'm pretty sure
Ray
is like 7-0 up against him at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, I would love
never
to
beat
do it
him
myself. So if he could do that, huge props to him, man.
For sure, yeah. So yeah, me personally, like, obviously I have a lot of respect for these coaches. I love them both. I'll be very happy for Brandon if he makes finals.
Yeah.
I still, I'm gonna root for my boy Ray because if I have to pick a side, but matchup wise, I'm gonna say, like, if I'm a betting man, I put my money on Brandon personally.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Just on his team, I think he is in a good position to be able to win here. So we will see what happens. And with that, let's move on now to our other match, which is going to be Zachmander versus DRV. So we got another Ogerpon over here this time, the Ogerpon Cornerstone. Zachmander, what did we call this team? Just like super uber goober top heavy. And
Mr. Top Heavy.
Mr. Top Heavy. He's got the Iron Fraud over there, and the Deoxys Speed, and then the Gliscor with the Terra. Just a lot of, and not even that. I mean, I felt like the Regidrago, did that thing get more kills than Shiyu? Maybe because of that one Pokemaster game, but still very offensively powerful. No, the Regidrago has more kills. That's why he's on the thumbnail.
Regidrago's his kill leader, dude.
He's his kill leader.
Actually, no. But the leaderboard that you have in the PowerPoint.
Oh, it might have updated.
They both have 11.
It might have updated. They both have 11
from
the last
but
game.
Regidrago only has 2 deaths.
Going into the playoffs from the regular season, Regidrago led both of them. But Gliscor is 12 now. So, but listen, we based it off of whatever they were going into it. So, but Gliscor is now.
I didn't realize the Gliscor creeped up there. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it makes sense. So Zachmander's got the super top heavy team with Mons like that he sometimes brings like the Rotom or the Granville. We'll see if they come. DRV's team incredibly defensively bulky. We've got the Regen core of the Tornadus Therian and the Hydrapple, who is the overall kill leader of the league, and the infamous Petulant. And he loves to run these defensive, at least when I face him, the defensive Quackable, Crocodile with Intimidate.
That thing has not been offensive the whole season, by the way.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say. That's what I thought in my head. I'm used to it being defensive.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've obviously been mocking with DRV a lot this season. He has taught me the ways of defensive duck. Like, it's crazy how good
I might
that
have to try that. Maybe in
well, at least non-terra. Like, obviously, if you're gonna terra that thing, you're gonna be running SD, bulk up, whatever, right? But non-terra Quackfall, dude, that thing, I was not familiar with that thing's defensive game.
I mean, hey, it's got Roost, man. If you got Roost, you may as well use it.
So you got Roost, you got Rapid Spin, you got Flip Turn and U-Turn. Like, you got Taunt. What board do you want?
Wow, it's just a better Blastoise. It sounds like, which is on the opposing side.
It's power creep, man. What can I say?
Power creep. Wow. Yeah, I'm not even sure if he's brought Shell Smash Blastoise this whole league. It's usually been defensive. I mean, it makes sense because all of his other mons are pretty offensive, so you need that defensive rapid spin support.
Blastoise is the glue that holds this team together.
Oh yeah, for real. I mean, because we got Spikes with Klefki on the opposing side. Iron Thorns can set rocks. Crook can set rocks. Of course, he goes from facing one web setter last week to now the other web setter in the Rabombi. And we know that webs are pretty good into Zach's team. We'll see if he managed to get them up and keep them up. Looking at the speed tiers here, obviously we've got the Deoxys Speed at 100 speed. It just outspeeds everything. Iron Crown even outspeeding the Rabombi. I mean, that's massive.
Brother, no Iron Crown again. That's the third time we've made that mistake.
Oh, why am I saying Iron Crown? Zamazenta Crown, man.
Bro, B-Nard said it. You said it. I think someone else may have said it as well.
Wow.
Why does everyone keep calling Zama Crown?
Well, because you have Iron Crown. I'm used to Crown. I just forget. We never use this thing, man. So I just default to it. Not used to seeing it in draft. Zamazenta Crown. You guys at home know what I'm talking about. It outspeeds the Rabombi. Bit of a big gap there from the Zama into the Ogerpon. Because then after that is Tornadus outspeeds him, even the Mousehole outspeeds him. I'm not sure if it'll come. And otherwise, it's pretty like sporadic. It's like whether or not one Mon beats the next. But DRV's team has that incredible defensive power. Can it actually? How well can it wall? Like, we've got the Petulant, which is mainly physically defensive, but then they've got these two super, well, even the what's it called? The Deoxys speed. I mean, Psycho Boost into that thing super effective. So that's gonna hit like a truck. They're forced to go out into Crook or something else. So a lot of pressure is what I'm trying to put coming from Zachmander. So it's really going to be up to DRV to kind of pivot out, which he can definitely do. He's got the ability to do that, but then he's also got to figure out how he's getting hard. I think the Terra Gliscor versus the Terra Hydrapple, the Terras on these mods, and if they manage to pick them right, are going to come into play. I think there's going to be a lot of pivoting. So if somebody can get rocks and keep them up, that'll be good. That we have, I mean, I don't know if, I think Gliscor has run Terra Ghost. So that's pretty much his spin blocker, because I'm not even sure if you can afford to bring Rotom to this match to act as a spin blocker or not. But the Petulant being able to spin block Zachmander, that might come in clutch, because I don't really think the Blastoise would be able to take it out very easily. So I can see a situation where webs go up, maybe we get some other stuff that goes up, because Petulant is a decent bit bulkier than Gholdengo, at least on the physical side. I guess they can run Dark Pulse on Blastoise or maybe Surf and chip him down, but that's at least a couple times where he can come in and keep up rocks and webs and even spikes.
Well, that Water Spout tech that he did last week.
Ooh, you're right. I literally back in the day bred Water Spout on my Mega Blastoise back in X and Y. That brought back so many memories. He could definitely have that. I won't deny that. But at the very least, he can cover up, and the Petulant is faster than Blastoise as well. So we did see that same situation with the Gholdengo. They both recover. He might run Spadef Petulant, but then that kind of leaves him open to like Ogerpon if he can set up NSD. It really depends. There's a lot of different ways that this match can go, honestly. It's almost kind of feeling 50-50. Why don't you give your input here, Scorp, and say what you think?
Yeah, it's a very volatile one, this one is. Got a few more nuances here. First of all, I think this is actually a god-awful matchup for Zamazinta Crown, which is very funny, because that thing is like, you know, arguably the best mod on the board.
Yeah, it takes the Rabambi, and what else does it do?
Yeah, but like, it struggles with Taunt T by default, but it can potentially muscle it. But then there's also a Petulant, like,
can't
good
freaking luck. Petulant.
Yeah, you can't, like, Zamazinta Crown cannot touch Petulant. You can maybe outlast it, and if Zamazinta Crown comes, that's going to be the game plan, but it can't ever break through it by itself, which that makes it tough. You also have potentially a Terra Ghost Hydrapple, which you have to take into account, because then you can't body press it, and Heavy Slam, I mean, I don't even know if that's 120 base power against it, because Hydrapple's a bulky boy. But even if it is, I don't imagine 2 KOs. Then we also, so that's, you know, obviously already a very, very tough one. Webs, as you mentioned, are scary, right? We obviously had Kingbura, who chose to bring Leavanny in the matchup twice. One time it did work, one time it didn't, but the webs are good against Zachmander's team by definition. But unlike the Leavanny, Rabambi by itself actually a pretty good mod,
it's
right?
It's actually a decent mod, yeah.
Exactly. So he gets a lot of opportunity, like everything except the Deoxys speed, which can obviously outspeed it and taunt. It can set webs against everything else. Like, we don't care about the Ozama Crown. We just live anyone hit with Sash and we just get it up. Or we para it, right? Yeah. So, and like a para Zama is really useless this game. So that makes it really, really scary. And also, I feel like the Regenerator core against a team like Zachmander, who kind of relies on putting on that big offensive pressure, is going to make it really, really difficult to... like, Zachmander might have to bring like some choice items or something, because I don't see how you, or like some big setup, because I don't see how else you don't just get outlasted in this. Like, the Torn and the Hydrapple are just going to come in, they're going to just trade hits, and like both mons are going to come out low in the exchange, but they're just going to switch out of like, all right, I'll see you back in a couple turns, and then they've got all their health back again. So while Zachmander's, you know, his only mon that consistently stays in the fight is Poison Heal Gliscor, so that could be tough. Another thing with Zachmander's team, kind of like a textbook top-heavy squad weakness, is that even though he hasn't really used it, like I said before, the Quaquaval and the Iron Thorns could absolutely pop off if brought in at the right time, because sweepers are really strong against Zachmander's team. Now, I will say, neither Quaquaval nor Iron Thorns outspeed Deoxys speed even at +1, because that thing is just ridiculously fast. But if they get multiple speed boosts, then that could be a wrap. So Zachmander is really going to have to be careful around that. Obviously, Iron Thorns struggles with Zama Crown, but again, there's a very good chance that thing doesn't even show up, and even if it does, you can run like coverage for it, right? So they just gang up on that thing and weaken it. So I feel like definitely a lot of nuances in DRV's favor here. I think Klefki as well, also in general, is a very tough mon for Zachmander's team to deal with, because it's like it walls Ogerpon stabs, it walls the hell out of Regidrago, and it can obviously T-wave the faster threats, right? So that's tough. And screens as well. Screens are also really good against Zachmander. He's got like multiple sort of anti-HO cheese strategies, right? I feel like so. Zachmander is not. Honestly, like the more I look at it, I feel like this matchup is slightly in DRV's favor, but that doesn't mean there's things on the other side as well. So let me get into those, I guess. Chi-Yu is the one answer
Slap of specs on it.
Yeah, literally. Chi-Yu is the one answer you got to regen cores, right? Because you can just blast through them. Now, I will say we do also have Quaquaval, which if it decides to run Assault Vest, it does actually resist, both of Chi-Yu's stabs, so that's nice. We can get blown up by Psychic, and we do get outsped, so we have to be careful about that. But we definitely have ways of switching into it, but Chi-Yu, if positioned carefully, can definitely weaken these walls for something to pop off later.
They could even do like a nasty plot flame shard set.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If that thing gets going, it's tough to stop, right? Because you can't really like the one thing I will say is that Torn and Hydrapple at least don't one-shot Chi-Yu in return. So if again, like you said, if it does get that flame charge and that nasty plot, like Scarfcrow could ain't gonna outspeed it either. So yeah, that's scary. Gliscor. Terra Gliscor is an insane threat into DRV's team, because we don't care about Petron. I mean, we can get foul play, but we don't care about Petron much at all. We do obviously get walled as well if we decide to run Terra Normal Facade. It's an air balloon set, but that only works for so long. So there's a lot of
air balloon to come back in.
Yeah, there's a lot of Terra types on this Gliscor that could be really scary here. We could do normal, we could go poison. I feel like we could go. What else could we go? We could do flying even, because DRV has a pretty big flying weakness. I could see Terra flying Gliscor with either Terra Blast or dual wing leads. This Gliscor is really, really scary. And this, if Zachmander saves it for the late game, I know I'm feeding him ideas here, but if he saves that thing for the late game, DRV needs like a good answer for it and keep it healthy, because otherwise that thing could pop off. And last but not least, we kind of alluded to it earlier, but while DRV has not one but two fairy types, they are Klefki and Rabombi.
Yeah,
now, Rabombi is tough for Regidrago, because unfortunately it really can't touch that thing at all. But at least for Klefki, it has potential ground coverage, right? It gets both Earth Power and Earthquake, I believe. But they're not the bulkiest mons in the world, and neither of them have reliable recovery. So if they go down, or if neither of them are brought, which, I mean, I think one of them should always come to this game, but if one of them goes down early, which they should because they're utility pieces, then a late game Regidrago endgame could be very realistic as well. So I think it's going to be a big thing of like, can Zachmander overwhelm DRV, or can DRV stay in control and slow the offense down? Because I really feel like the longer this game goes on, the more I favor DRV. But the shorter it is, the more I favor Zachmander. That's my view on it.
Yeah, Zachmander's going to just have to go for a blitz probably, and just try to set up or just hit as hard as he can, as fast as possible into his team, and try to break down that core. If DRV can manage to withstand the initial onslaught and kind of heal up and switch around and ship down his mons, then DRV's in a good position.
Hazards are good here on both sides as well, because, like, I mean, sadly, Zachmander doesn't have the best hazard setters in the world. Actually, no, he does, because he's got the Oxus speed that can set him as well. But obviously, setting hazards with Terra Gliscor is a little bit of a waste, right? Unless you want to dedicate Gliscor to being a Terra Ghost wall, which you can. But I honestly think both these teams have spin blockers that match up well against the opponent's spinners, because Terra Ghost, Gliscor, or even Rotom. Like, again, I'm not sure how good Rotom is against the rest of the team, but I do think
the Rotom's good for that, but then the problem is you got a Rotom on the team.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I know Zachmander's a believer, though. Zachmander is a big regular Rotom believer, which I find very funny. I don't blame him, though. I think Rotom's a great Pokemon. I loved Rotom this season, and that thing was like 7 points. But what I'm trying to say is both these teams have good spin blockers against the opponent's spinner. So hazards more than likely for both sides will stay up if they go up.
Fair enough. I think that if his plan is to try, I mean, it's a good strat too, to be able to just get a bunch of hazards up and try to keep them up, then Rotom is worth it. Because, I mean, like you use Deoxys to set the hazards, Rotom to keep them up, that still leaves you with 4 Mons, and maybe the Blastoise, and that still leaves you with 3 more Mons to just start popping off with. Which is probably
brother, you've used Dragapult as a spin blocker. I've used Hisui and Typhlosion.
Yeah,
as
but
a
I'm
spin
me
blocker.
though. I'm not everybody. Not everybody is Emeraldminer trying to keep the hazards up at all costs.
Hey, listen, I do this. I used Hisui and Typhlosion as a spin blocker in Season 3 like multiple times. It's possible, dude.
It is possible. I've used Hisui and Typhlosion versus a Great Tusk as well.
Yeah, just put an air balloon on that thing. You've got 3 immunities. Like you're immune to ground fighting and normal. Hell yeah.
Oh, I didn't even do that. I was specs. I just raw switched it in and just was like, we got to do this, man.
No, you just just put it in on the free spin and click a button. That's
yeah,
viable as well.
Exactly.
Love it.
Okay.
So
I think that we are in agreement. I think that DRV has a lot more pieces to. I mean, just the longevity. I mean, I've always said this. You know, defense wins champions. My bulkier teams in BHDL that have had defensive cores like DRVs have always done better than my pure, just uber goober offensive ones.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just my play style.
No, but I feel you, because like for me as well. Again, the first time I drafted sort of offense, hyper offense teams-esque before like the first 3 seasons of BHDL. The second I switched to Palafin Balance, I won a season. You know, so it's like, I really, as offensive as the Scarlet and Violet meta is, this longevity and these walls in draft, I really feel like they're pretty skill expressive as well. You know, like these bulkier teams, they're not for everyone, I don't think, and maybe that's why we don't see them pop off as often. But low-key, I feel like with on the right trainer, they do exceptionally well. And
yeah, and I mean, it seems to be working really well for DRV. Was he number 2 in the standings?
Yeah, he was. He was 2nd seed behind Al.
There and like, go.
What I like about these teams, and that's the same thing. I really enjoyed it with my Palafin Balance. I really feel like you really enjoyed it in Season 1. These teams just give you the room to outplay your opponent in the long run. You know, and that's like, you need to. Again, they're very skill expressive. I think teams like these are very impressive if you can pilot them well. But they give you that room to outplay. I really feel like they give you the room to outplay so many matchups, and DRV has been doing that phenomenally this season, and I really look forward to seeing if he can make it to finals. I mean, even if it hasn't come to many games, it's arguably been his weakest Mon, but I gotta cheer for Delphox. Like, I have
to. True. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. Well, I've got the Terra Hydrapple. I love the Terra Hydrapple. I got to root for my guy. And Crocodile Amigo way back.
Yeah, see, it's like Hydrapple is like. Hydrapple for me is a special Pokemon because, like, this is obviously not quite as related, but Hydrapple is a special Pokemon for me because Grass is my number 1 favorite type of Pokemon. Dragon is the 2nd. I actually didn't like any of the Grass Dragon types we had before Hydrapple came along. Like, we had Flapple, Appleton,
Mega
Alolan
Sceptile.
Exeggutor. Yeah, like Mega Sceptile is the exception. Mega Sceptile's cool. I really like Mega Sceptile, but that's a Mega, right? So
right,
like,
no natural.
Hydrapple is the first like natural grass dragon type of which I love the design, and I really appreciate the Mon for that reason alone.
True, fair enough. I mean, I do love nice specs Chi-Yu, of course, and Blastoise too, but my favorite type is Psychic, you know, and so Delphox is right there chilling with it, so I love to see it. But yeah, I think that DRV definitely is in a better position to win this match, although he can't be too, what's the word? He can't be too, what am I trying to say?
Confident?
Yeah, I can't be overconfident, in this case, because if he's not careful, Zachmander can be able to break through his walls.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with Zachmander's team, we said it in the power rankings, and I'll say it again, the team is predictable, but it's mad strong. So you know what it's going to do most of the time, but what are you going to do about it? That's the big answer. See, luckily we will have, more than likely anyway, we will have footage of both of these games, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them both.
Yeah, me too. And then should also have footage no matter what of the finals. So yeah. With that then, that's going to be it. Thank you again to Scorpion for joining me.
Of course, my pleasure. Happy to talk about the games. And yeah, thank you for your insights as well, Emerald. As well as thank you for recording. It makes my life a lot easier.
Of course. And with that, we will see you guys. You guys watch the semifinals, and then we'll see you guys again in the finals.
Peace.
Peace.